Marwan Cameron, and this is the Conduit. It is Monday, March 15th, 2021. Hope you've had a great start to your week. I know I've had an interesting start to my week. As you know, I went in for a procedure earlier this morning and talked about that. So I am awake. I wouldn't say I'm bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, but I'm here ready to get it in. 'Cause that's what has to happen. So that's what I'm here to do. At the bottom of the hour, we have Pastor Reverend Frankie Coleman from Sinclair Missionary Baptist Church. That should be an awesome interview. So very much looking forward to speaking with him and kind of hearing and learning about his story and listening and hearing his perspectives. So that should be fantastic. We've got a very full week this week. So on we go. Tomorrow we should have Miss Anita, if everything goes well. On Wednesday, we have Elijah Meggs. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing your last name incorrectly. On Thursday, we should have some folks that want to expand, gather together, grow together into Texas. So we're going to hear from them and see what their ideas are for expansion. Then on Friday, we will have Minister Michael Ellington from New Horizon Baptist Church. So great week for sure. Hopefully we may have some other surprises kind of sprinkled within. So it should be really awesome. I see Cynthia's here. How you doing today, Cynthia? How was your Monday? Oh, I'm at work. I'm on a short break. I understand. Well, hang in there. Monday hopefully is almost over for you. Actually, I don't know when you're off, but you're always working too. You're always doing the thing. But yeah, that should be a really good interview. I guess before he comes on, I should probably share my results with you guys because that's important. As I said this morning, I felt it was important to kind of put out a PSA to men, and especially our black men, about going to the doctor and being proactive and not reactive, right? They have certain milestones based on age and other factors. You need to go in and get checked out. In my situation, I've been very bad at that. As you know, I was adopted. My mother put me up for adoption pretty much, I don't know, within the first year of my life when she was 16 when she had me. And so she did the best that she could do. I'll tell you that story one day. But as such, I do not have any medical history on myself or my family. So I don't know what's there. I don't know what's not. And so, I've got things that are kind of rare. I suffer from a lung condition called sarcoidosis. I have had a pituitary tumor in my brain that was pressing on my optic nerve. And so, when you don't know these things, you have to go in and get checked out. And oftentimes, doctors can help you if you go early. So please go early. Please go early. So I went in for an upper GI endoscopy. I was having a hard time keeping food down and swallowing, and this has been going on for a few years. And, men can be quite hard-headed and stubborn. It's like, I don't have time to go. I'll get there when I get there. The symptoms go away, and then you just go back to life as usual until they come back again. So, as I said this morning, I've got folks that do care about me and push on me to go into the doctor and move past the do as I say and or do as I say, not as I do. So it definitely was being hypocritical in my own advice for folks to go and seek medical attention. And so I went. So apparently I have a hiatal hernia, whatever that is. And so I've got to follow up with the doctor. Well, as such, the doctor says, well, since you're coming in here and we're going to be putting you down to go through your throat, we might as well go through your backside too and give you a colonoscopy because, you're getting up there in age and it's still a little early, but we might as well go ahead and knock it out. Well, it's a good thing that they did because apparently I have a tumor, my colon. And it's interesting to see the pictures. I won't do that. I think that's like TMI. Like, hey, look at the pictures of my tumor. So they, took a biopsy of that, and I'll get the results of that and see if it's benign in about 2 weeks and see what needs to be done, if anything, from that time. But again, they say you should wait until, or they say, 50 is about a time that a man should go in and get a colonoscopy. And now they're saying that, men can go in even earlier, 48, I think maybe even as early as 45, 46. So that's really important. I had a really awesome staff that took care of me today out there at the Silverdale Hospital. I think it's called St. Michael's. They changed the name from Harrison, and I can't remember now what it is. It's St. somebody. So, but I was out there, and you might actually see them on the podcast coming soon. So they were pretty excited to hear that I was doing a podcast, and said that they would love to come on and kind of share their information and talk to folks about healthcare, things that they need to watch out for and whatnot. So shout out to my medical staff today, taking great care of me. I hate needles. They definitely blew out one of my veins. It can be hard for phlebotomists to find veins on dark skin. So if you've had a lot of health issues and you go into the doctor over and over again, someone who wasn't afraid of needles can very well become afraid of needles. So, just something to consider. Anyhow, I digress. It is time for us to get into our interview. Like I said, I'm so excited. Mondays are my favorite day. So surgeries or not, procedures or not, outcomes or not, we keep going forward, right? We go forward in faith and we do what we got to do. So Pastor Coleman is in the waiting room, so I'm about to let him in. Super excited to talk to him today. And so, if you see that my energy is a little dragging today, that is what it is. I will try to keep myself high energy for you, but I also want to be my authentic self. So let's go ahead and get Pastor Coleman in the room here. All right, he's coming on in here. So get him all set up. How you doing, Pastor Coleman?
Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How's life treating you?
Good, man. I'm taking it one day at a time. What about yourself?
About the same. I was just telling the audience that I've been having some medical issues, so I went in for a scope on my throat, and they found a hiatal hernia, and then they decided to do a colonoscopy since I'm getting up there in age. Not quite ready yet, but they found a tumor on there, so we'll find out what happens in a couple of weeks when I go back. So, it's just got to go in there and figure out what's going on,
Yeah, man, you got to have those things done. You're still getting up there in age, man.
Yeah, that's a true story. I hate the doctor, and, Dad, basically he had to be dying to go to the doctor. So, it's like, you're all right. Go ahead and shake it off. So that's kind of how it was for us. But, as black men, we do have to be proactive and not reactive with our medical health.
Absolutely, man. I had that colonoscopy, man, and you just got to get it done.
You almost made me spit my tea out.
Yeah. It's not nothing that we run into the doctor for, but it's got to be done, man. Especially with us, black men, and those are some of the things that really kind of taking us out. That we don't get examined, enough,
mm-hmm.
And because we're not getting examined enough, I think we're paying for it. We're losing, our people every day, man. And so I would tell every man out there, man, especially black men, man, look, you need to go to the doctor, man, every year.
Yeah.
Go get that checked out, everything checked out, man. And whether it needs it or not, you know, and that colonoscopy, I think is every 5 years, I think it is, depending on your age, it might be every 10 years, but get it done, man. You know, you may be saving your own life, and but it's something that needs to be done.
You know, those are facts too. And, you know, they say you need to be proactive and not reactive. And if you go in, oftentimes they can catch it. And there's so many stories of folks that are like, you know, late stage this and late stage that. And it's like, man, if you had come in 6 months earlier, we could have done something.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like, go to the doctor. Whether you feel good or not, like you said, get that checkup every year. So you got people that care about you, and you need to be around for them. If nothing else, you know, do it for yourself, but for sure.
Yeah, and that's part of our responsibility, man. You know, as a black man, as a father, just as a man, that's your responsibility. You know, if nobody else, you know, you should at least care about yourself, man, and you know, make yourself go in there and get it done, man.
Well, preach. So, you know, I'm just gonna kind of read your short bio that you gave because you know, you're a very humble person. And so, you know, I asked folks to just say a couple words, and you just simply stated, you know, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a pastor who's retired from 32 years working at Kitsap Transit, and a U.S. veteran. So I'm thinking I'm going to get this dossier on you, and it was just, you know, it's just a few things like, look, this is who I am. I'm very humble, so, you know, go for it. So, you know, tell how did you get into finding yourself being a pastor of a church? How does that happen?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you, first of all, Marwan, for you know, taking this time, allowing me to be able to come and to be a part of your show. And matter of fact, I mentioned it to my wife. I said, you know, we'll be doing this interview with Marwan and you know, Reverend Cameron's son, and she said, well, why you? I say, I don't even know. I don't even know. but you know, and I really appreciate it. And but I come here, you know, originally I'm from Louisiana. Okay, and I grew up in Louisiana. Grew up by with a grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
Like most young brothers from the South. Grew up there. Went through grade school, high school, and all that, and then after high school, you know, worked a job and decided to join the U.S. Army. Went in the Army for 6 years total, and I got out. I was stationed in Fort Campbell, Kentucky, man. I was in Kentucky. And, you know, the big change going from Louisiana to Kentucky. And then after I got out the military, I had a cousin up here, named Pastor Robinson. His name is Floyd Robinson. And my family background is all of my uncles were preachers, man. Grandfathers, preachers. All those guys were. And so I grew up around the church. I cut my teeth on the church, man. And so when I got to the military, I came up here looking for a job. Came here, you know, looking for employment. You know, my cousin said, man, you know how to weld. And he said, why don't you apply for the shipyard, man? Since you know how to weld, you can probably get a job in the shipyard. At that time, I went to the Mount Zion Church, Mount Zion Baptist Church. That's where Pastor Rochelle was the pastor.
Right.
And that's how long, and I think that's why I met your dad. I met Reverend Cameron at the Mount Zion Church. That's been years ago, man. I've been on your dad over 30 years. And so I applied for the shipyard. Never even got an interview, man. I know how to weld and everything, man, but never got an interview. Wow. And so Pastor Rochelle told me at that time to apply at Kitsap Transit. And now, mind you, you know, down south, we hardly ever ride a bus, man, and nevertheless driven a bus, but I was in the military, so I know how to drive a bus. And so I got hired as a bus driver. Everybody that normally get hired at Kitsap Transit get hired part-time. That's everybody, get hired part-time. And so after about 2 weeks, I told the guys I need a full-time job, and they said, well, there's a full-time job in the maintenance department. I said, where's the maintenance department? I go to the maintenance department, had no idea what this is, man. And go to the maintenance department, and I said, man, I need a full-time job, and they hired me on as a fueler. It's a person that when the buses comes in, of course, in the evenings, making sure the bus is all ready to go for the next day.
Gotcha.
And so at the same time, I was working at Kitsap Transit, but I was still going to Olympic College. At that time, Olympic College had a football team, and so I want a football. Yeah, I'm going back, man. I want a football scholarship at Olympic College, and so I'm going to Olympic College, on their dime, and I'm working at Kitsap Transit in the evenings, man. And so I'm doing this, and at the same time I was still going to the church there at Mount Zion, and I think after a while, I'm not sure, Olympic College kind of dropped their funding or some kind of way. I can't remember exactly, man. It's been a while back for the football program. And so I continued to work at Kitsap Transit. And at Mount Zion, I started preaching at Mount Zion. This was 1986, man. I don't know, how old you were at that time, but how old are you right now, Mark?
I'm 48.